that's just f***ing brilliant start, that is.
Okay, so maybe that's not the best place to start. I'm James, this is Chasing Nothing, and part 1 of a 4-part series documenting a trip I did back in 2016 of a rather eventful motorcycle journey. We begin our story in Tokyo, Japan, where I spent a month on foot, shooting street photography and awaiting a motorbike to arrive from Sydney, Australia. The story behind this bike is best saved for another day. Let's just say it took too long getting there, and in the meantime I flew across to Seoul, Korea, where after a few more weeks of street photography, I finally had the motorbike, the KLR-650. With this, I intended to cross all the way from Korea to Europe. A quick hot lap around Korea, and then a ferry across the Sea of Japan, and I was in Vladivostok, Russia, and finally underway. Ahead of me lay the vast expanse of Siberia, from sweeping plains to endless taiga forest, and everything in between. I spent weeks in Russia and Siberia in particular are very unique and interesting places. Well worth the visit, but it wasn't without its challenges. You get good days and bad days, I guess. But eventually I would make it through there, and after 3 months on the road, I would finally arrive in Mongolia. Mongolia. What to say about Mongolia? Well, that's not good. Well, that's where I was. And after a few days on the steppe, the endless grasslands that make up 90% of that country, I made my way into the capital city, Ulaanbaatar, where I beelined for a hostel called Oasis. A literal oasis, because in this part of the world, there's few places to stop, and even fewer with a mechanic attached. Here I met some interesting characters, some colourful characters, and took some time to recharge. Some really great times were had here, and yeah, it was good. But after a few days there, it was time to get back on the road. However, in short order, everything began to go wrong.
Right now, I am absolutely
Bad fuel had jammed the carburetor, flooding and damaging the engine in the process.
I just spent the last half hour pulling the entire bike apart.
Alright, moment of truth.
I didn't know this at the time, but there was no fixing it out there. Not 300 k's into the middle of nowhere. But nevertheless, I tried. And tried until I was losing my goddamn mind. And the funny thing about being that far out into the middle of nowhere is you can just walk off the side of the road and for as long as you like. But that bike is not going to fix itself. Eventually, you've got to calm down and just get on with it.
So anyway, back to finding a fucking solution for this.
And that's how it goes. You sit by the side of the road until a solution presents itself. I worked through the afternoon and into the night, and all night, until the next morning, when I hitched a ride back to Ulaanbaatar on the back of a local truck. It wasn't ideal, but at least back here I could have access to a mechanic. But there was no solution in Mongolia. I was stuck, and I wasn't getting out of there anytime soon.